Hey guys, so today I wanted to do something a little challenging, a little fun, if you will. We're gonna put homemade versus canned and frozen to the test. Do they taste that much different? And then is it worth all the effort? And I will be making the crust from scratch as well. Okay, so I don't really know what I'm doing. This is my first time doing this, so let's learn together. So one pie, I'm gonna make it from the can and a pre-made frozen crust that I got at the grocery store in the frozen aisle. The other pie will be made from this whole pumpkin. This is called a sugar pumpkin. Isn't she cute? So this recipe is called Homemade Fresh Pumpkin Pie, and it's by allrecipes.com. I'll link it below. So step one, preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Oven at 400 degrees. Okay, so I'm gonna make the pie crust. So I'm gonna clean my area. Yeah, I'm making pie crust. To make the pastry crust, mix flour, salt in a bowl. Then cut in the butter. And then blend it until it resembles coarse crumbs. So I need 3 tablespoons of cold water. So I'm gonna get that. Cold water. So we have our bowl. I thought I had a tablespoon. Could I just use a regular spoon? That's a tablespoon, right? It's a spoon you put on the table. I'm ready. Okay, so we're gonna mix the flour and the salt together. Cut in the butter with a pastry blender. A pastry blender. Cut in the butter. You can tear it too. Ow, shit. Okay, maybe I'll cut it. So I'm just cutting the butter, cut it. So the butter has to be cold so it can be like beaded, like. Huh? Does that make sense? So I cut all the butter up. I'm gonna mix it now. So right now I'm just trying to make the coarse crumbles with the butter and the flour. And then I'll slowly add the 3 tablespoons of really cold water. But this is kind of therapeutic in a way. It feels cool. Get together. Okay, yeah, now it's coming out. Sorry if I'm red. I just laughed a lot. Okay, now I'm seeing it turn into kind of that shaggy look, like with, not like shaggy. Like that shaggy look, kind of like with biscuits. That's what I'm seeing. And I think at this point, it is good to add the water. Okay, so mix in 3 tablespoons of water, 1 at a time. Well, I didn't do 1 at a time. So it says until the dough is moist enough to hold together, and then add up to 1 more tablespoon of water if needed. We might need it. This looks this is too crummy. See? Okay, I'm gonna add more water. Okay, we just gotta get in there, girl. This is looking really good, actually, now. Anyone else hate the feeling of dough stuck to your fingers? I feel a panic. This looks good. What do I do with it now? So I have to shape the dough into a ball with lightly floured hands. I don't have lightly floured hands. Roll dough on a lightly floured surface to a thickness of 1/8 of an inch. And then place a 9-inch pan upside down on the dough. Okay, we'll see. Lightly floured hands. Flour, hands, good. Can y'all see this? Y'all can't see this. Let me back up. Okay, so let's get this to 1/8 of an inch. Basically enough to cover a pan. Pie crust pan. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous this is gonna be really crumbly. I think it'll work. I feel like I have to work quickly. Butter's just slowly melting. Place a 9-inch pie pan upside down on the dough. Use a sharp knife to cut a circle of dough 1.5 inch larger than the pie pan. Oh, I guess I should read first. Okay, so let's do that. That is good enough for me. Yeah. Here's my circle. I need a dough scraper. Let me flour it a little. It's not big enough. Cut a circle 1.5 inch larger than the pie. Oh my God. Okay, Should I do it again or just get this and put it on there? So I'm gonna go ahead and just do this. Let me do that right now. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. I'm not gonna decorate the edges. I'm just gonna leave it like this. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge and then go ahead and make the filling. Reset. Dry it off. To prepare the mashed pumpkin, that's what we want right now. So, cut a fresh pumpkin pie in half. Scoop out and discard seeds and stringy portions. Leave skin on and cut pumpkin into chunks. Measure out 1.5 pounds for this recipe. Pounds? Okay, 1.5 pounds for this recipe to yield 2 cups of mashed cooked pumpkin. Place pumpkin chunk in a saucepan over medium heat with 1-inch water. Bring to a boil, reduce the heat to low, cover and simmer until tender, about 30 minutes. Drain and cool, remove and discard peel. Return pumpkin to the saucepan and mash with a Return the pumpkin to the saucepan and mash with a potato masher or use a food mill until smooth. Okay, and I'm gonna put everything in the bowl and then add the rest of the ingredients. Now we need the evaporated milk, brown sugar, eggs, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, salt. Let's do that. 3/4 cup of brown sugar, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to mix this up and hope for the best. Here we go. So it looks a little watery. That is watery. What do I do? Is it supposed to be like this? I mean, what could be wrong? It smells very pumpkin. Squash. Okay, so I have everything cleared for the easy one. So right now, I am about 2 hours into this made from scratch pumpkin pie recipe. I think it would have been better to start with the pie filling and then do the crust while it's simmering for 30 minutes. You could be making that pie crust, but here we are. So now let's move on to the easy one. Let's see how long this takes us. 2 eggs, a can of this, a can of evaporated milk. And we're done. 2 minutes. Okay, now let's get the pie crust. I don't know, they kind of look the same. This one is a little bit thicker. Here's the pie crust. Okay, here are my different pie crusts. Look at this. This one's huge. Maybe it will all fit, we'll see. So I'm going to pour in the pie filling and then put them in the oven for 40 minutes. So here is the one that I made from scratch. Is it gonna? Wow. I don't think this one's gonna fit. We'll see. Here's the super easy one now. Big color difference. That's not all gonna fit. I'm gonna stop right there. So this looks like very rustic. That's a rustic color. That is bright. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stick these in the oven. Should I put this on a pan? I think I need a pan. I think this one will overflow while it's cooking. Did it? Should I put this on a pan? It's so wobbly. I'm just gonna stick it in. Ah! This can't fit in there that way, it's too long. I'll put the pan underneath. Going in like this. Oh my God. Whoa! Ugh. Okay, so they're in the oven. That was very stressful. It was spilling everywhere. Anyway, so they're in the oven. We're gonna let these cook and then come back. Gonna try them both and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So I had to run some errands, but I'm back. Look how beautiful they are. This is the homemade, obviously. And then this one is the canned and then the frozen pie crust. Look how different. Look at the color. This one's like more brown. And this right here, it's not burnt, it's just caramelized. I'm gonna go ahead and cut into these and try them out. So I have my slices here. This is the homemade. It looks really good. This is very firm and it's holding its shape really well. This one on the other hand, I don't know, it looks a little bit undercooked. As you see on this side, they cooked for an hour. I may have done something wrong on that. Let's try them now. Oh wait. Little diner pie. I'm gonna try the homemade one first. That's really good. I like the crust. Okay, so it's really good, but it needs more flavor. It needs more spices. So I would definitely put more spices in it. And the crust is really good. I love the crust. I wanna try this caramelized part. That's really good. Now I'm gonna try this one. This one looks sad. It looks undercooked. I did something wrong for sure. I don't know. I don't like that. It has a weird aftertaste. Maybe it's just that brand. So I have made pumpkin pies before with pumpkin puree and then added all the spices into it. It was never just the, you know, the can where you just add the eggs and the evaporated milk. So this is brand new to me. I've never had a super easy way to make it. Never done it that way. But you can definitely tell. And even the puree is better than this. I don't like this one. Okay, so out of both of the pies, I think I would lean more towards the homemade pie just because the flavors were a lot better. If I did have to make a quick pumpkin pie, I would at least do it with the pumpkin puree where I can add all of the spices into it. So was it worth it to go through all of the effort to make it from scratch? I would say yes. Absolutely. You're getting a better flavor of the pumpkin and you can control the ingredients so you can put as many spices as you want. With the canned one, it was a little bit sweet and had an odd taste to it. With the homemade pumpkin pie, it just all around the flavor tasted better. So I would definitely do the made from scratch pumpkin pie again. This was a fun little experiment. Let me know if you like this type of content. I can definitely try out more canned recipes versus homemade from scratch. So just let me know down below. Thank you all for watching. Bye.